Good afternoon once again, ladies and gentlemen. That is a nightmare for me there. That symbol indicating its intermediate conditions for this Belgian Grand Prix, round 11 of TNR. Through our rouge you can see just how loose the car is without the assists benefits. And we actually had to back off through there. We're now down on our delta and we're already in P12, so this qualifying session, could it get any worse? Yes, of course it could. Top left of your screen you'll see Mr. Training Wheels himself, Prime Stingray, is on provisional pole, my championship rival of course, so this session is completely a write-off for me. You can see there that we're now green on the delta, not by a whole lot. We'll see if we can improve into the top 10 as we cross the line. 13th to 11th only, so this is just horrible, and in fact we would be demoted once again down to 12th by the end of the session. So it's Stingray, OP, BK and Style in the top 4. Hopefully one of those latter 3 can get in front of Stingray in this race, while I try and minimise the damage by moving myself up into some decent points positions. It's a dry race, that could be quite helpful as we try and limit the damage. We just try and stay out of collisions though on this very dangerous first lap, especially the run up Eau Rouge and into Les Combes. Around the outside, no contact so far. Got Sprints and Mozza in front of us directly, Murph behind us. Shouldn't be too much of a worry behind us because we know Murph is a very clean driver. We've had some contact with Sprints before, but that was of course an accident in Baku. Some drivers already out of the race, presumably through Eau Rouge at the top of the hill. Sprints very early on the brakes there, I had to avoid him. There's a big pile up there at Les Combes, so I avoided it across the inside there. Thankfully not getting any penalties for crossing the track, cutting the corner I should say, but I didn't really have much choice. See a replay here, just about avoiding the Toro Rosso. He doesn't avoid the big melee there though, there's a Williams involved, a Ferrari. So now it's Dynamite. Didn't realise at the time, but he had some damage. Not sure if he saw me there. He might have been trying to cut across the pit lane, and that was also very close. Thankfully there was no real damage sustained for me, and it was 2.5 seconds to the next car, the Renault of Killer Taxi, who was possibly having the best race of his season. He was only a little bit slower than me. I was catching him about a 10th a lap. You see it's lap 7 by the time I get within DRS, but even there I couldn't get past him because he was running some very low wings and had quite impressive pace through the rest of the lap to keep up. So it'd be a patience game really for me to try and get this 4th position, as the top 3 had really gapped the field and I was never going to be able to catch up. I'll fast forward through here and you can see it's very difficult for me to catch up. I was actually close through La Source, but then up Camel Straight I'd hardly gain a thing on the Renault. So this goes to show, if you run that low wings it's actually quite difficult to get past, even with the slipstream and DRS up Camel Straight. So props to Killer Taxi for his setup there. On lap 9, same thing, can't get quite even close into the braking zone. Once we start braking though we close up. So that's probably an illustration of the downforce levels. A good run through Les Combes and we should be setting up here into Rivage, but not quite close enough. I'm not willing to risk my championship lead at this point. Of course noting that I have to pass Killer Taxi to remain equal on points if Stingray wins the race. Into the pits he goes at the end of lap 9. I'm getting a bit more in my tyres obviously because they were not qualified upon. And I follow him in a lap later. There he is, you can see the Renault going past, so he's undercut us a little bit. We'll have 1 lap better condition on our tyres though, but it's by lap 18 is finally when I get within the DRS once again, so he really did have good pace. Very impressive showing here in Spa, but we still are hunting that 4th position and 12 points, crucial championship points potentially, given how close it's been between Stingray and I all season. Even Styling we're going to be a bit careful of because we know what he's capable of in 3rd position in the championship currently. We're going purple, but we still can't get past, and Taxi, it might need a mistake from him to get past him. He's gone a bit wide there. We're still not close enough as we get a bit of a wobble going on with the exit of Les Combes. Only 3 laps to go now, and this target really needs to be attained for me. I'm never happy when I can't get past someone for such a long portion of the race, and I think it was nearly 15 laps where Taxi defended really well just by driving his own race. You can see once again the DRS is opened, but not really closing fast enough to make a move, so I'm really running out of opportunities here, especially as one of the best opportunities on the lap doesn't seem to be an option for me. Penultimate lap now, through our rouge. Let's watch the Renault in front. You can see a bit slower through there, so it must have had a little wobble. Is that all I need? The only limitation I need to get past. I'm close enough this time, surely, pulling alongside before the braking zone and down the inside. Finally past him after so long, just not quite there. Now the problem is, can he get back past us? The answer was no, thankfully for us, and we would cross the line to take 12 championship points. Stingray unfortunately winning the race, so that's now his championship advantage up top due to more wins, equal on points though. So I look forward to the Italian Grand Prix in 1 week. I've been Jacko. See you guys in Monza.